All right. Good afternoon, John. How are you today?
I'm well.
All right. Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about yourself to get started.
Sure. So I am coming from a background in the financial industry, but I have a very varied background in that industry. So I started in banking and moved my way into insurance,
Okay.
working claims projects. Um, really started working projects way back in 2013 when I was first like in my training class
Okay.
at Genworth Financial. We started the LGBT forum there, and that was a huge project just sort of off the side of my desk.
Okay.
So I learned a lot about multitasking, managing different aspects, different types of things that either had uh, open time frames, like there was no necessary end date. It was just an
Okay.
ongoing project. Ones that had a goalpost, like an actual end time, and some that were cyclical. So they would come up maybe once a month, once a quarter, or once a year. So I've through all of that time have really learned how to multitask and keep an eye on all of these moving targets at the
Okay.
same time.
All right. Fantastic. So what is taking you out of the financial industry?
Unfortunately, layoffs.
Okay.
So my company was in the process of being acquired by an offshore company.
Okay.
That deal fell apart last summer, and unfortunately, my team was one of the first to go.
Okay. Understood. Now, as far as your ultimate career plans next, what do you see yourself doing in your next move?
I think I'm pretty open. I would like to stay in that kind of project management kind of role, but not necessarily in project management, if that makes any sense. I feel like you can apply that to so many different industries
Okay. Great.
and not necessarily be bogged down by all of the politics that go in with being in a large corporate setting, and being the project manager in a situation like that. So that's what kind of interested me in this role here,
Okay.
is that it's applies a lot of that people skills, the networking skills, customer skills, and project manager skills without necessarily being big box corporate, you know, that world. You can really focus on what's important.
Fantastic. How do you feel about being in a situation where at some point you would have to lead others or maybe be that go-to in the office, maybe for vendor resolution, maybe questions on, hey, how can I do this better? Or I
Mhm.
got an issue, I need your help. What are your thoughts there?
I have loads of experience doing that. We started a brand new team at Genworth when we were looking to make efficiency changes within our eligibility teams.
Great.
So not only did we come up with a process for that, we had to hire people and lead them, get them up to speed, and make sure that they were, doing what they were supposed to do for a solid year. So
Okay.
I am very comfortable in that kind of role. I feel like it's really important to build people up and get them to goalposts instead
Great.
of, I guess, I don't want to say micromanaging. That's not the right word, but maybe coming down too hard and
Yep.
being an authoritarian figure, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
No, it does. All right. I like it. I like building people up versus coming down on them. I think that's
Yeah.
very,
I
very
think that
important.
reflects in their relationships with customers, internal and external, and
Yep.
each other. If you can like really build a team up to get them to where they need to be instead of shoving them.
Yep. Fantastic. Now, coming from the financial background, I'm sure that you are used to having a lot of moving parts, a very fast-paced style environment at any given time. This office is also very fast-paced, but it's going to be a different, style of industry. What do you think is going to be one of the biggest things that you will bring from your corporate background and bring it into a smaller company, as far as maybe processes, maybe even ways to implement change? How do you think you would be able to do that?
I think I bring a focus. I'm able to really focus in on what's important at any given time within each individual aspect of process. And a lot of times, with you, when you have a smaller company that's really trying to grow really fast, it's like a constant fire going off all the time. So if you can take a step back and really focus on putting the pieces together that need to go, I think I can bring that to the table in a great way.
Good.
Um, building building it one step at a time, but not necessarily slowly.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fantastic. I like it. Slowing down to speed up, maybe.
Absolutely.
All right, beautiful. Now we were talking a little bit about salary, and $20 per hour was the starting point. We were not able to go any lower. We do have a little bit of wiggle room in that rate, but just wanted to kind of put that out there for my client. And you are comfortable with making the commute to Longwood each day, correct?
Yes, Longwood's probably about a half hour in traffic, so
Okay.
it's not that bad. It's not necessarily right next door, but it's an easy commute.
Okay, beautiful. And how soon would you be available to start?
I would be able to start as soon as they needed me. I
Okay,
do have one commitment coming up in the beginning of December.
okay,
There's a wedding I have to attend. It's family. I can't
okay.
miss that. But other than that, I'm open.
Wonderful. And what would you say is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
I'm looking. I feel like when I say this, I come across like a shelter dog, but I'm looking for my forever ever home. Like I want to find a place that I can jump into at the right point and grow with them and retire there. Like I don't necessarily want to find the best job for right now. I'm looking for like something that's going to take me through the end of my career and something that has that kind of opportunity to grow. I don't necessarily want to join a stagnant company. I want somebody that's like ready to commit, invest, and go.
Fantastic. Well, John, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording portion of this interview and chat with you a little bit more in depth about my client and the opening, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound good?
Perfect.